Okay, so I wanted you guys to get out the example 3 that I asked you to do for homework, and let's just review over how to do vertical parabolas. So remember, the first thing we need to do is got to find that P. So when we're looking here, P is 4P is equal to, you set it equal to this number right here. So this would be -4. And now we're just going to solve for P. So divide by 4, divide by 4. This P becomes -1. So now we can tell a lot now because we know our P. Well, we know that x is being squared. That is defined right here. So we know that x is being squared, so it's either going to be up or down. It's going to open up or down. And we know it's going to open down because P is negative. So it opens down. Okay, so when we're looking at our vertex is the opposite of this. So you've got 4, comma, opposite of this, 2. So let's go ahead and plot that. Vertex 4, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 2. It's right about there. And then let's go ahead and find our focus. Well, remember, our focus, there's a couple ways you can do this. Focus you can determine by our formula with that chart. When you look at your vertical, it says that the focus is h comma k minus p. And so, oh, sorry, that's k plus p. So remember, this is h, this is k. So we have 4, comma, k, which is 2, p is -1. So then we got focus is going to be 4, comma, 1. And we can go ahead and plot that point. Another way we can do this is because we know P is a -1. That means we can go from our vertex just down, and we know it's going to open down. We can go down 1 and graph it right there, where that is 4, comma, 1. So you can either just move down a -1 space and get your focus, or you can do it from your chart. Now, when we're talking about directrix, remember it's going to be a HOI. Remember, your directrix for this is always going to be a HOI. So it's going to be a horizontal line, and it's going to be y equals some number. Well, if you want to go based on the graph, like we did with the focus when we went down 1, well, you could do the opposite, and instead of going down 1, you could go up 1, and then your directrix is just 1 length above your vertex. So if you don't like that, if that's kind of confusing and you want to go back to the chart says that you get y equals k minus p. And so y equals k was 2 minus a -1 for your p. So y equals 2 plus 1, so y equals -3. And that's exactly what we've graphed here, y equals -3. Okay, so now let's talk about focus width, or remember, it's also called your LR, latus rectum. So focus, I'm going to change colors to orange. So focus width is, from your chart, we know that focus width is the absolute value of 4p. Well, p was -1, so the absolute value of -4 is +4. So we have a width of 4. So remember, between the focus and its endpoints, we have a width of 4. So let's go over here, and we go to our focus, and that means the whole width. So this whole thing is going to be 4. So that means we've got to go 2 to the right and 2 to the left to get a focus width of 4. So we just graphed our endpoints. So our endpoints are 2, 1, and then 6, 1. So 2, 1, and 6, 1 are our endpoints. And now we just need to connect the dots. So from your vertex to your endpoints and your vertex to the other endpoint. And then we have it graphed. Okay, so what if you want to use your chart for your LR endpoints? Okay, so our chart says that you have x plus or minus your LR divided by 2, comma, y. And this x and y, those refer to your focus. So you have to look back at your focus, and your focus was 4, comma, 1. So your x is 4, your y is 1. So our LR was, our focus width was 4 divided by 2. So now we have 4 plus or minus, well 4 divided by 2 is 2, comma 1. So you get 4 plus 2, comma 1, and 4 minus 2, comma 1. So we get 6, comma 1, and then we get 2, comma 1, which is exactly what we got up here with when we graphed them. All right, so that's vertical. So hopefully you got that right. Hopefully you did it for homework. So if you have any questions, ask each other. Hopefully everybody can help each other with this one. But now let's go ahead and go get your notes out for today. We're going to look at parabolas. This is unit 2, not 8. See that right there? That's a misprint. So here's your chart again. We should already have this written on our note cards. Remember, if x is squared, this is vertical. If y is squared, it's horizontal. So we're going to focus on horizontal today. So y'all go ahead and get these out. And we're just going to work through them. It's pretty much the same thing that we did on Friday for vertical, except the only thing that's different now is this right or this left. So let's kind of talk through that. How do we know if it's going to be going right or left? So if P is negative, it's going to open left. Okay, so it's going to look like that. This should be written on your note card too. If P is positive, it's going to open right. Okay, so we're going to do this the exact same way we did with the vertical ones. We're going to first find your P. So you're going to say 4P is equal to the number right beside the equal sign. So it needs to be in standard form, and it is right now. We have our y squared on the left side, and we have our x stuff on the right side. So 4P is equal to 8. Divide by 4, so P equals 2. So because P is positive, P is positive, and y is being squared, we know this is going to open right. So remember, if x was squared, then this would open up. But because y is squared this time, you have to think this is going to be a horizontal parabola. Okay? So our vertex on this one is going to be 0, 0. There's nothing with the y and there's nothing with the x. Remember that 8 doesn't count. It's like this. Y minus k squared is equal to this 4p. So that 4 or that 8 represents that 4p. Parentheses x minus h. So that's kind of your standard form. So now let's go ahead and graph that vertex. Maybe we should choose a different color. Let's do blue. 0, 0. Okay, so now for your focus. Your focus is going to be, if you're following along with your chart, your focus says that it is h plus p comma k this time. So instead of h comma k plus p, it's going to be h plus p. So your h is 0 plus your p is 2, comma your 0. You're going to get 2 comma 0. So let's go ahead and graph that. And notice your focus now is on the right side of your vertex, which is exactly what we need. Because we're going to be opening right, we need the focus inside of our parabola. Okay, let's look at our directrix. I'll do this in red this time. So directrix is equal to, if we look on our chart, it's going to be, this time, it's not y, it's x equals h minus p. So x equals, your h is 0 minus your 2. So we're going to get x is equal to negative 2. Now this is a vux, so that means we're going to have a horizontal line at x equals negative 2. So we go to x equals negative 2, so on your x-axis, go over to negative 2, and we're going to draw our dashed line, our vertical dashed line. So, and notice here, notice this is 2 from your vertex, so that's your p. Remember your p is 2. And this is the opposite. This is going negative 2. So you can always do it like that. Just count right 2 for your vertex because it's a positive p, and then go backwards to get your directrix, negative 2. All right, now we've got our focus width. Same thing as before. Remember, it's going to be the absolute value of 4p, which is exactly what this is. Remember, your 8 right here. I should make that not so big. Okay, so your 8 represents that 4p. So your focus width is just 8. So that means we're going to have to divide that by 2. So where your focus is, you're going to go up to 4 and then go down 4. You're going to get your LR endpoints. So our LR endpoints are 2 over 2, 2 comma 4, positive 4, and 2 comma negative 4. It doesn't matter what order you put them in. It's fine either way. Oops. Okay, so let's do them based off of your chart. So your chart says x comma y plus or minus the LR divided by 2. So this time we're plus or minusing the LR divided by 2 to your y. And remember, that's based off of your focus. So our focus was 2 comma 0. So we have 2 comma 0. Get back my orange. Plus or minus our LR was 8 divided by 2. So you get 2 comma 0 plus or minus 4, which gives us 2 comma 4 and 2 comma negative 4, which is exactly what we got when we just graphed them. Okay, so we're almost done. The only thing left we have to do is connect the vertex to one of our endpoints and the vertex to our other endpoint. And then we have our horizontal parabola opening to the right. Okay, let's go look at number 2. Okay, so first thing, let's decide if this is going to be a vertical or horizontal. And because y is being squared, it's going to be, a horizontal. Okay, so let's find